Hi, this is Tim Carter, Superintendent of Wilson Central School District, with a welcome back message and COVID update for Wednesday, September 15th, 2021. First of all, I just want to, reiterate that welcome back. It was great seeing the kids come back this week. All of the kids pre-K through grade 12 in person, 5 days a week. It was an awesome sight, and the kids are doing great. I also want to extend thank yous to parents for your patience with this reopening for the second year in a row. Our students for doing an awesome job, not only following directions, but getting back into the learning mode as best as possible. I want to say thank you to the administrators, teachers, our non-instructional staff, nurses, custodians, clericals, cleaners, teacher aides, all of the non-instructional staff. If I missed anyone, I'm sorry, for helping making sure that our building was up and running and ready to go, ready for students on the first day of school. I'm going to start with a COVID update. Met with the Department of Health yesterday, and as of yesterday, Niagara County had 313 active COVID cases, with 4 cases in the town and the village of Wilson. There were 13 people hospitalized. Of those 313 cases, no school-age students were hospitalized. And according to the Department of Health, they're feeling like there's a bit of a plateau in the recent uptick that started about 2-3 weeks ago. They believe there's a plateau and we're going to go down a little bit. They are suggesting that possibly with the return of schools, all schools back in person in Niagara County, and we may see a bit of an uptick again in the next 3 weeks. But like I said, there's a plateau right now. A bit of a COVID testing update. There was a mandate that was sent down from New York State Department of Health and the governor's office that school districts have to provide testing to staff and to students. And I want to just give a little bit of an update. Right now with the staff, we're at the point where we voluntarily ask all staff members to produce their vaccine card, and if they're fully vaccinated, they can opt out of any testing program. And any of the staff that is unvaccinated, they would have to be tested on a weekly basis. And we're working with Niagara County Department of Health to make sure that we can create a place for them to go free of charge, free to the district, free to the employee, to be tested. We have also been working with Niagara County superintendents and Niagara County Department of Health on a mobile unit. That once that is up and running, the request for proposal is out. We're waiting for that to be filled and a contract to be signed. It'll be a mobile testing unit that can move around amongst the 13 school districts. There'll be site locations on a weekly basis for a number of reasons that we can hand to our staff members that are wishing to be tested or have to be tested, to give them an alternative place and location for a free test. We can offer to our parents, if they choose for their child to be screened at any point, they can go to where the mobile unit is located and be tested. Or if your child has to be tested because they're symptomatic, there's a free location for you to be able to go to. So there's going to be more information as we go on. Our target date to start that is sometime in November. Again, the request for proposal is out there. Companies are bidding on who's going to take charge of this mobile unit, and then the mobile unit will be utilized and up and running. And as soon as it is, I'll get that information out to you. New information. As we did our reopening conversation in the video I sent out, I had mentioned to parents that our focus obviously is on getting our kids here 5 days a week. And part of that was, if I was given local control, I would make sure that you could come into school. If your child was sick and you were picking them up, they could return in one of 3 options: either resolution of symptoms, a COVID test, or an alternative diagnosis from your medical provider. Unfortunately, the Department of Health has overruled that, and we have flowcharts that are attached to this email. They'll be up on the district website, and if you have to pick up your child, you'll be given the copy of one of these flowcharts to understand. Obviously, this is not a Wilson thing. This is a Department of Health So we're kind of going backwards to where we were at the end of last year with some differences, and I'm going to explain them now. The first flow chart that you see in the attachment is that if your child, if a teacher, child, student, staff member is fully vaccinated and is exposed to COVID-19, if they have no symptoms, they can return to work or school if they're vaccinated, fully vaccinated. If they have symptoms, they then need to self-isolate and then also go for a COVID PCR test. So that's one of the flow charts. The second flow chart is if your pre-K to 12 student, teacher, or staff member has been in contact or been exposed to someone with COVID-19 and they're unvaccinated, the individual will need to be quarantined, and if there's no symptoms, they may return. Once the Department of Health releases them from the quarantine, they can return back to school. If they're symptomatic, they would need to get go for a negative PCR COVID test prior to returning. And then the third flow chart is the one that I mentioned that is a bit of a change from our reopening conversation, is if your child exhibits any of the symptoms of COVID-19, regardless of their vaccination status, the individual must stay home and return after they contact their healthcare provider. And one of four things need to happen. You can get an alternate diagnosis. If you get you have to get a COVID test, PCR COVID test. And if the results are negative, you may return after 24 hours resolution of the symptoms and being fever-free. If the results are positive, Niagara County Department of Health will self-isolate you, and you can return when there's a release from that self-isolation. And if you decide not to get a test and there's no alternative diagnosis, same as before, you have to be out of school 10 days from the date and have symptoms resolved or getting better. So that's the flow charts. Again, that is a bit of a change from our original reopening conversation. I understand that it is a hardship and it's not something we were looking forward to doing in Wilson. Our hope was that we could just bring kids back with no symptoms, but unfortunately the Department of Health has recently indicated that that is not acceptable anymore, and we have to follow these flow charts and the COVID protocols. Those flow charts are attached to this video, and also they're on the district website. So if you have any questions, as always, please call 751-9399. That's the direct line to the district clerk and my secretary, Mrs. Pavan, and she will be glad to direct your question to me, comment, whatever you need to, if you need to get a hold of us. Thank you very much. Have a great day. And like I said, if you have any questions, please contact us.